Yes, it is true. The Black Ace Hockey Podcast is back in action. I'm your co-host, Blaine Adams. I'm with your co-host, Nick, Mr. Worldwide Jenkins. What's going on, man?
Man, I feel like I got a lot of catching up to do. We were just talking before we hit the button here. Was pretty remote in Canada last week, doing some hiking and stuff, which was fun, but I'm a little bit out of the loop on a lot of hockey stuff, so I think this is going to be a good catch-up for us.
Yeah, so you brought back a hat?
Brought back a hat from good old Banff
That looks
National
well made.
Park.
Is that the real, genuine leather?
Genuine legacy brand leather. Not cheap at all.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. That's why we didn't get a podcast out last week. But life rolls on out here. We do not do this full time, so bear with us as we move throughout the season. But anything else? Any news this past week or two on your side?
Not a whole lot, man. Just been. We got to touch base about hockey, by the way, about going to watch hockey. We can do that later. But, been following college a lot closer this season than I have in the past, especially with, I've said it before, Penn State's always been my team, and looks like they're going to have a pretty good season. They had a little hiccup on Friday night against Clarkson, but
new team kinks. Yeah. Get the Clarkson loss out of the way for early. You don't want to lose to like Michigan at the end of the year. That's the teams you don't want to lose to.
That's exactly what I said too. I was like, hey, look, we got a lot of new guys. It's an early game early in the season. Doesn't mean a whole lot. Let's get the chemistry going, get the boys rolling, and then the games that you don't want to lose exactly are the Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, those type of games in the second half of the season. So a little hiccup in the beginning of the year, not a big deal.
Yep. Yeah, same with me here. I'm just chilling, doing all the fall things. Just carved a pumpkin yesterday. You know how it is. Just fucking out there grinding. Just fucking chiseling away at it. So
you'll be up in town for a little Halloween celebration soon, so that'll be fun too.
Yeah, that too. I'm not taking a bus this year, which is very, very crucial. So it's, dude, taking the bus was an experience, but it's not as bad as people say, but it's still like brutal. You're like held captive to the bus. There's like, if you miss the bus, Jenks, tough luck. Wait till tomorrow. So, but yeah, nothing new really. It's kind of in the days of the holiday gauntlet, so don't really want to do anything too much until the end of the month's coming up. But jumping into, I want to touch on some college stuff first.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo. Is this poverty, or is this a deliberate tank for a try at McKenna? Jesus.
McKenna, yeah. Don't worry, I knew who you meant.
Right.
So I don't think anybody had high expectations for Buffalo this year. I didn't see one person.
Only Buffalo people, though.
Only Buffalo people. Well, Buffalo people go into the season optimistic every year with the attitude of like, I'm ready to be hurt again.
Right. Like, please hurt me. Yes. Okay.
As a Cleveland Browns fan for football, I totally understand that. It's like, hey, maybe this is our year, and then you start out 0-3, and you're like, nope, definitely not. That's thanks for trying. They have scored 2 goals in 3 games. I don't know if this is. The worst part is I think they're actually trying. Like in Buffalo's defense, if I give them one pass on anything, they have a lot of guys banged up already. They're missing like 3 or 4 key players from their lineup already in the season. So, okay, maybe you get a little bit of a pass there, but I don't know what the heck's going on there. They've sort of been in this limbo state of not really showing any improvement for the last several years now.
Right.
If you look at their team on paper, they've got some good players and should be able to do something, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
But if their goal at the end of this year is to get McKenna, they are off to a hot start.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in the league is looking as bad as Buffalo right now.
So let me ask you this. I'm looking at the roster right now, and we see this trend in hockey right now is games getting faster, games kind of getting smaller with all these young kids being under 6 foot. Do you think Buffalo went too much on the young scale, where they're trying to get all these young kids in the lineup quickly? That way they're faster, they're more skilled, but maybe it's just like they're missing the older guys, or they're missing like a heavy hitter, or they're missing like kind of like that massive defenseman that can lay the body and give the team some sparks. Because I'm looking at their goalies. Jukka-Pekka Luukalainen, not bad. He's not bad. We watched him up in Erie. Alex Leon, I loved him in Florida. So I honestly, like, he's not terrible. Georgiev, he was almost a starter in New York at one point. So I don't see where they're lacking in goaltending. Maybe it's just like an age and experience thing in their lineup.
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, if you look at the whole roster, they've got almost their entire roster is guys that are under 30. Especially their decor. I think what they did was they took a couple big swings and signing some of their young guys very early, saying these guys are going to keep developing and then they're going to become our core. And I feel like if I look at their roster, like I've got it pulled up right now, I think guys who have been maybe disappointing is the right word to this point, but guys that they hoped would be, probably dominating by now, or at least contributing on a regular basis. Like Peyton Krebs is the guy they got from the Jack Eichel trade. He was a high prospect at the time. Josh Norris they traded for from Ottawa. That guy cannot stay healthy. I can't tell you that he's ever going to play a full season in the NHL. Right. But when he's active, he's good. And then on defense, I think they took a big swing on that signing of Owen Power, saying this guy's going to keep developing, and at some point he's going to become a number one defenseman. And then they would have Dahlin Power down the left side. That's a really strong combo. But man, Owen Power, for as big and mobile as he is, he should be dominating like a Victor Hedman type. But he disappears to me in the game. Sometimes when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, that's Owen Power. He's a former number one overall pick.
Yeah.
He's been in the league for 4 freaking years now. He should be doing something. I don't know. I feel like it's almost like they've taken these big swings and now they don't have room to go out and get anybody. And who knows, if you're talking about signing somebody to Buffalo, what good player is going to want to look at this roster and look at their recent years and say, you know what, I'm going to Buffalo next year.
Right.
They're in a tough spot, man.
Yeah, I mean, their last 2 games have been against Boston and Colorado. Colorado, understandable that they get pumped, but Boston's not that good this year either, and they pumped them. So it's where do we go from here? If we lose against Ottawa, do we just pack it in for the season? Hey, Buffalo, we're eliminated. Might as well just, go eat some nachos, or maybe hit the extra starched pasta. I don't know. So, yeah, I agree with you there. Owen Power, to me, I'm never drafting a defenseman first overall. Never, ever, 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 ever. I think there's almost a guaranteed backfire against it. It's kind of like when in the NFL, when you have the number 1 pick, you're drafting a quarterback. It's just you're drafting your franchise player. To me, Dahlin, great. Is he number 1? Not to me. He doesn't transform the Buffalo team. Carlson, eventually he took over Ottawa. Dahlin, when I watch, he's just another defenseman. He's not anything crazy for me. Victor Hedman, yeah, he's good. I'm never going on that side. If I'm on that on that ice, I will never go against 6'7" Swedish, Finnish, whatever he is, man. So I just don't really believe in first overall D-men. I don't even know.
And Buffalo's done it twice in the last 5 years now. Twice.
I know. The Owen Power. I don't know if that draft class was very good. I know sometimes like you have to pick the people that are given to you. You can't really like decide. Hey, McKenna's in the next 4 years away. I'm going to draft him. No, you can't do that. So I understand where they're coming from. You've got to select the best man available. But to me, like you said, everybody's under 30. Like, their whole forwards are basically, the average age is like 24, 25. Like, I don't even know if that's like, you can buy your first, you can't even rent a car. You can't even rent a car yet. Like, this team, they have Jason Zucker. Literally 95 teams sign up for a year and then say, oh my God, this guy's awful. Get him off our team. And even the Pens did that, and we suck. So it's one of those things where you're just kind of gonna have to like chalk it up and be like, this is just not Buffalo's year. And maybe it's okay. Let me pose a question to you, Jenks. In the age of NIL, where we've seen players like Isaac Howard and Adam Fox in past years. Those are just the two people that are good enough that have done these sort of things. Do you stay in college and say, hey, I am not going to Buffalo. I'm just gonna sit in college until my rights get traded or my rights get fall off of Buffalo or however that works. Do you think his agent's whispering in his ear like, hey, Buffalo's just, you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna be terrible.
I see your point. I don't think that's happening.
Really? Okay.
I don't think that's happening.
In the age of NIL?
Yeah, but NIL, so the NIL for hockey is so much less than the NIL for football. Like, if you're talking about a quarterback for one of the top 5 teams in the country in NCAA, like, that guy's probably going to make $4 million to play college football. Like, yeah, you probably want to stick out another year if you're unsure about the draft.
But you don't think his jersey sales are going to go through the roof in the next, 3 years?
I don't...
Because, what's a first overall draft pick signing? It's got to be, 4 or 5 million, right?
I don't know all the details behind it, but I think regardless, I feel like whatever that number is, it's going to be more than he's going to make in NIL, and then you're going to jump into the NHL sooner. You can get out of that entry-level contract sooner, get to the big bucks sooner. Like, I think if you're just talking about it from a money standpoint, you're better off just going to the NHL.
And I guess this is a good transfer into our next topic here. We've seen literally all these players rather get the bag than actually want to win. So when does money over legacy come in? Like, say, hey, if you draft me in Buffalo, I want Jeff Skinner's 8x8 and I want Tage Thompson's 8x8. I want them all. I want everything. Where does that line come in, Jenks?
I think it's that's a tough question because I think it's different player by player. Like, you're going to have some people who are money motivated, and you're going to have some players that are like, my goal is to win a cup. My goal is to make an impact on this organization, be remembered as one of the best players in the organization. So it's different player to player. I mean, heck, we just saw this with the McDavid signing, right?
Yeah.
Where he in some ways, he's like, I could go out there and I could demand Edmonton pay me $20 million a year.
Super max.
I could go out and I could say, Edmonton, I want $20 million a year, and they're going to come back and say, absolutely.
Right.
You're worth every penny of it. and he said, you know what? Number one thing to me is winning. I want to win a cup, and the best way to do that is by taking a little bit less money. And he took a screaming deal for Edmonton at $12.5 million a year.
Right.
And basically said, hey, look, I'm showing you how important winning is to me. Here is your window to win with me. If we don't, I'm so out of here. I'm going to go somewhere where I can win.
Yeah.
So I think back to the original question, I think it's different depending on what the players' motives are, what gets them going, what's their goal.
Yeah, and I think, like, I bring this up because in the last couple days we've had some pretty big signings that, to me, I just don't understand, right? Like, we've had the Kiprusoff, which kind of makes sense. He's Minnesota's basically franchise player moving forward and could potentially be the best player in the league in a couple years. But the last couple signings, Lane Hudson signed, what, an 8x8, 8x7.9, whatever it was. Decent player. Montreal locking up kind of their core four with Caulfield, Suzuki, and him and Demidov. And hopefully they have Slav coming up and producing soon. Kyle Connor, Jenks? Kyle Connor. 8 by what? 11? 8 by 12?
I think it was 12, yeah. Pretty healthy contract.
Like, what? Here's the thing with this guy. You draft him in fantasy, Jenks, and he only scores one assist a week. I don't need that. I need 9 goals a night. Like, if I'm paying you $12 million, you better be made of steel. You better never get hurt. You better pray that you put in 1,000 goals. I just don't know where some of these lower-ish level guys... No, I don't even know if Kyle Connor's good like that to demand $12 million. Remember when Panarin signed for $11 million and everybody thought that was insane for Panarin. So for me to like get on board with this, everybody's getting an 8x8 these days. Like, I just don't see why McDavid would go so low. Like, is this a signal where, hey, I signed for 2 years, and then after 2 years, if like we haven't won a cup, is that the line? If we haven't won a cup, I'm gone.
I think 100% he is saying, if we haven't won a cup, or if I don't feel like we are on track to win a cup, I'm gone.
Yep.
But I think this is pure speculation from me. This could be reaching too, but at that number that McDavid signed for, let's say in the final year of his contract, Edmonton is, they're maybe a wild card team. They're not looking that strong. Like, they're not a cup favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And McDavid says, trade me.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't trade for Connor McDavid at that price? You're going to do everything you possibly can to fit McDavid at only $12.5 million into your salary cap, because he is the biggest difference maker in the game right now.
Yep.
So I feel like in some ways it's a lot about, here's the window, here's the cap flexibility that you need to build out this roster in Edmonton. But at the end of the day, like, could it be in the back of his mind where he's like, this number makes me movable in that last year as a deadline rental to a team who's all in and needs a center if Edmonton is struggling.
Yeah. And I just think, what jumps out in my head is Luke Hughes signing of basically shocked the whole world. New Jersey screwed basically every team, because anybody that's ever even sniffed better than Luke Hughes or even is right under him is going to demand this like $8, $9, $10 million contract, right? Like, I jump over to Jackson LaCombe over in Anaheim. Honestly, on a decent trajectory, was drafted in 2019, made his debut in 2022, few games, and then ever since then 17 points, 43 points last year. I mean, that's a signing where I'm like, okay, maybe we come in and say, hey, maybe you get 60 points, maybe you get 80 points in the next season or two. I would say that's good. And he's massive. He's 6'2". He's young, 24. I just think, like, maybe the salary cap, or I just don't understand where these GMs are coming from, is just, like, missing my brain. Like, I don't understand how money works that you can just hand out $9 million a year to a trash player.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jenks. I just think it's kind of a wild times in the NHL right now. Where do you think McDavid would land if, after 2 years, he wants to build his legacy and says, screw the money?
If he doesn't care about money at all?
Well, I mean, he's going to care a little bit. He's going to probably say, like, hey, 12, 13, 11, somewhere around in there. But I'm winning a cup this year. Like, you walk into the GM, say, hey, I want freaking $11 million, and I'm winning it this year. Screw you. Like, if we don't, like, I'm just signing 1-year contracts until I win. I'm just bouncing. I'm doing Marian Hossa. I'm bouncing around until we win, and then I'm staying with that team.
Marian Hossa style. I love it. It's tough because you got to look at it, and if we're a couple years out, you got to look at it from who's a contender at that time and who's a contender that could really use like a slam dunk number one center, guy that's going to run your power play, all of the above type player. Like, I mean, I feel like he probably wouldn't want to go here because of all of the media noise and how he'd have no privacy, but I feel like Toronto could really use him.
Oh, man.
Like, could you imagine, like, McDavid?
I couldn't.
McDavid is the 1C, and then you've got Matthews as the 2C, and now Matthews can just rely on shooting. Like, again, I don't think he'd want to be there because he's a very quiet person, and I don't think he would want to deal with that Toronto media BS. But, like, I don't know why that's the first team that came into mind. Like, could we see him at a team like, Dallas or something like that? Could we?
Jamie Benn leaving? Tyler Seguin leaving? Like, I don't know, maybe.
Could I mean, there's tons. I would love to see him in a Pens jersey, but we are not going to be very good in a couple years. So.
Yeah.
Carolina, I don't know, man. Like, Tampa Bay, there you could go on and on all day long with teams that could really use like a star player, number one center. So I think at this point it's all pure speculation.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I think like the first team that jumps to my mind is LA Kings because they're losing their golden boy Kopitar after this season, so that takes away this season, next season, and maybe the season after that. Like, maybe he looks to follow in Wayne Gretzky's trail. Like, maybe he looks to go that way. We'll see. I know, like, star players like that, they want to stay in one spot for a long time. And, our next guy we're going to talk about here stayed in one spot for a very, very long time, too. Only bounced between, 3 teams? Ottawa, Islanders, and the Boston Bruins. Big Chara, Zdeno Chara. Number 33 is finally going up into the rafters. Very, very well done for him. A man that's 6'19". He's just a massive human being. Baby deer on ice, but 1-2 strides, he's in the D zone. This man deserves so much with the way, people bagged on him in winning his last Stanley Cup. Like, they were like, are you old or are you just bad? And he's like, no, I'm great. Now I'm going to lift this cup one more time. And just that core four, him, Patrice Bergeron, Marchand, and what was the other guy? Krejci, before he got shipped across the pond. But yeah, those guys were insane to watch. Tim Thomas was his goaltender for a little bit, and then they had Rask, and then they finished up with the tandem Swayman and Olmark. So, yeah, any thoughts on number 33 going up into the rafters?
Man, just an icon of the game, a Bruins all-time great for sure.
All time, yeah.
He was so dominant for so long, and a lot of people forget that Boston wasn't his only team. He was with the Islanders, I think, to start, and then was Ottawa for a little bit, and really just played the bulk of his career and won his cup with Boston. I think he won at least one Norris Trophy. But just controlled the game with his ability to get himself into position. He's obviously a giant, so he had that reach. Such a good leader for them for so long, was the captain in the room, and they had some great leadership with all the guys you just mentioned. Like Bergeron would have been a slam dunk captain for any team in the NHL, but they were lucky enough to have the leadership of both of those guys at the same team, which is why Boston was so good for so long. So, well deserved for Chara for sure. I don't think anybody is surprised by this jersey retirement. And you wonder if what do you think? Is he a Hall of Famer?
100%. Like he's probably the first season he's eligible, he's going in. I think you said this perfectly. Like literally one of the icons. I think if he was like a foot shorter, he wouldn't have been as known. Like if he did the exact same thing but a foot shorter, I don't think he would be known. But just because he's like a freaking giraffe out there, I think that's what people remember him for. Like, hey, do you remember the tallest human being in the world? Yeah, he played for the Boston Bruins. But this guy, like every article, every story you hear on like Spittin' Chicklets, any story you hear on any other podcast, this guy is literally the salt of the earth. Like he can't be more humble. He literally just is the epitome of being loyal to one organization for a long time. And I think the Ottawa and Islanders kind of gave up on him because he wasn't producing quickly enough for them. But Boston wanted a leader, needed a leader at the time when they signed him. So good for him. Now he does like marathons. He does like ultra marathons.
I saw that.
So the guy's literally a freak. I don't know how people do that consistently every year. Maybe I would do one, but not like 4 or 5, like some psycho. Like that's just weird. But yeah, dude, it's pretty cool to see him. Let me ask you this: is it too early to retire his jersey?
I don't think so at all. So
Okay.
I mentioned the Hall of Fame, and this is how out of the loop I am. He was already elected to the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, first season.
So it's first season he's eligible. Of course he gets in. I had no doubt. But I think he is a slam dunk jersey retirement for sure. For all the reasons that we've already talked about. I would have been more surprised if they had decided to not retire his number, honestly.
Here's my thing with like retired numbers, and I think I saw a clip of Michael Irving say this last night. Like, once you retire a number, like I think the Giants have like a gajillion retired numbers that you can't use. In my theory, like once you retire a number, then it's lost in history. Like, 97 was worn once. Like, will the Pens retire 87? Probably. But every time you see like the number 66 or like 87 or 97 or like 71, 81, like you know exactly who that player is. And like, I just think like having your number retired almost like loses the value of your legacy in a way. But I do love honoring a player, like putting his last name up into the rafters, putting a jersey up into the rafters. Like I understand and respect that. I would like to see in the future players like give up that like, hey, like you can wear number 33 or you can wear number 66 or 87. I would love to see that.
What do you think about this? What if, once your jersey is, let's say your jersey number is retired.
Okay.
I think at some point, I agree with you 100%. I think at some point we're going to get to a place where, and it might not be anytime soon, but a couple decades from now, we're going to have a lot of numbers retired.
Right.
I mean, we could sit here and rattle off maybe 10 numbers that we expect to be retired for different teams right now. But what if it was the approach of, like, if you were the first person to have that number retired for that team, somebody else can wear that number, but you need to seek that player's permission.
I would love that. Yeah.
Like, hey, if somebody else wanted to come in to Boston and wanted to wear the now retired or soon to be retired 33 of Chara, what if they were to go say, you know what? It's Chara's decision. You give him a call, and Chara could be the one to say, I really appreciate you reaching out. I'm honored that you want to wear my number. Absolutely, you have my permission.
Right. Yeah, I think for me, if like I was that good, my first reaction would be, yeah, dude, it's just a number. But then like you would sit there and think like, yeah, but like I don't want my number going to like some schmuck, like some like AHL call up. Like you have to be like a player. You have to be a dude. You got to be a guy, Jenks.
I think something comes with that too, of like having some status, like you're saying. Like you're not, if you are some 7th round draft pick who is getting called up for his first game and you're like, hey, I really want to wear 87 in Pittsburgh, Crosby's going to be like, get out of my face.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Right.
But if you're somebody who has, maybe you signed with Pittsburgh and you've been in the NHL for a long time and you've been a good player and you've been a good role model, and you're like, hey, 87's iconic in Pittsburgh. I would love to wear 87 in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And at that point, it shows respect to the player to reach out to them, but also for them to be like, I would love you to wear 87. Like you would represent 87 well.
Yep. I agree. And I think like to wrap this up, not every good player needs to get their jersey retired. Like Marchand probably won't get his jersey retired in Boston. I would hope not.
You don't think?
He's good. I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he deserves to get his jersey retired. He's not that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Patrice Bergeron? Maybe. I'll think about that one.
I think I agree with you. I think Marchand's probably not a jersey retired guy, but I think Bergeron, you could probably argue yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I think everybody understands that. You just got to be very, very impactful for the team. Like Crosby eventually, Malkin probably not. So like there's the line, right? Like you can be good, but Malkin doesn't like do it for Pittsburgh. Crosby is the guy, right? So there's a difference. All right, last topic for the podcast, and then we're going to get into some fun stuff. Olympics are coming next year. Are they in Rome?
Italy.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, Rome is in Italy, but yeah, a couple locations in Italy will be hosting the games. Yeah.
Right. So, and with that coming around the corner, there's 40, 30, 35 guys on the watch list. I know they did like the first 6 or whatever, and it had everybody that everybody expected to be on there, of course. So outside of that, Jenks, we're looking at the bottom 2 lines here, and I just want to preface this with there is news today that New York put Vincent Trocheck on long-term IR. So if he was a potential to make the roster as New York, do you say like, hey, Vincent, like your recovery takes you right up until Olympic break, and then like I don't think you should actually participate in this. I know you wanted to, but who are you looking at to make this team?
Well, I think so. I think unless you are like one of the superstar players,
Yeah.
like unless you're a Crosby or a McDavid or like an Eichel for the USA. I think if you're missing a long period of time and you're coming back right before the Olympics, you're probably not going to be in consideration because they're going to want somebody who's up to speed, who's been playing regular season games. And I think to some extent, like the reason why they have 40 guys on the watch list right now is because they haven't made up their minds. I think there's going to be a name or two on every team that ends up surprising us based on like just having a really good season this year. Like if somebody goes on a tear and it's somebody who you don't expect, it's not a McKinnon or McDavid or Matthews or whoever that ends up just going off and ends up, let's say they're top 10 in points.
Right.
And by the time we get to the Olympic break, I think it's going to be hard to keep that type of player off the team.
Yeah.
So, if we look at guys who are off to a hot start right now, who may be on, we'll say that bubble for any teams, like Matthew Nyes for Toronto already has 6 points. He could be a USA consideration there if he's not already on the list. A guy like Thomas Harley, who is not a big name at all, but he had a really, really good year last year without Heiskanen in the lineup, and he's off to a good start again this year. Like, could he be somebody the U.S. ends up picking on defense?
Right.
I think of players like that, like they're going to keep a close eye on these guys who are what we'll call bubble players, and then we're going to end up with a few names who might be shocking at the time, but if you look back at how the season has gone, say, okay, that makes sense. He's playing really well. They want guys who are playing well right now to be in that lineup. So, are there any names that you've got on your radar that you're keeping an eye on, thinking, who knows, maybe this guy could be somebody we see at the Olympics?
Yeah, so I'm going to Montreal. I'm asking Lane Hudson, please forgive me. We messed up. Sorry, Dad, you trashed us online, but we really messed up. We weren't thinking. I'd go straight to him. Then I would go over to his teammate and say, hey, Cole Caulfield, I don't know what we were thinking. You played for us for basically your whole career. Played in the U show, and then you played in the NCAA. I can't believe we missed you. Don't know why we didn't go to the oven mitt of the United States, but I guess planes just don't land in Wisconsin. So like those are the two players I would look at. You said Matthew Nyes, Kyle Connor, I think is a shoe-in for USA, Team USA.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say it would be hard for me to put Tage in. And I know he might be on the six people accepted already. I want players in the mindset of winning. Like I don't want to bring in like somebody that's on a 19 game losing streak because all they know is losing. Like, and that's not a bash on Tage, but like what I need for USA is to chuck, right? I want somebody that no matter what, win, lose, tie, is going to bring the same energy regardless. Like, that's why I like Mitch Marner so much, because even when they're losing, he's so pissed off that, like, he hates losing more than he likes winning. And when you look at Matthews, like, he's just like, Justin Bieber, like, he doesn't actually care. Like, he needs to get his ass in gear up there. That's my take.
Yeah.
I just really think some of these guys need like a little mind shift. The Hughes brothers, the good ones, are going to be on there. And when I'm looking down at like projected extras, Seth Jones pops up. I'm not sure. We have such great defensemen that I don't know if we can add a trash player like that. Maybe we bring him.
He'd be a good seventh D.
Yeah.
Like if somebody gets hurt, throw him into the lineup, and you're not looking too bad.
Yeah, and our goaltending is it's just incredible. I freaking love it. Nothing I would change from Ottinger and Hellebuck. Maybe throw in an e-bug just for fun, shits and gigs. I don't know. But that's the team I'm taking over there, and against this freaking Canadian team, which just seems so stupid. It's just ridiculous how good they are. But if one team can, it's gonna be us. I think what Canada lacks in goaltending, we pick up pretty heavy, but we definitely lack in the skill department on our team. But we definitely bring intensity in the freaking America spirit. That's for sure. So, yeah, I would just like to see them make a trip to Montreal and just be on their hands and knees and beg for those two guys, maybe. But outside of that, I think we have Larkin. Who else? Maybe Patrick Kane as a consultant. Eichel's been around town. Yeah, I think we have good experience as well on our team. So.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Moving on to our fun part of the podcast. Jenks. What are we? 3-4 games into the season? 4-5 games into the season. Most teams have debuted their third jersey for this year, and remember, I think this is the first year of Fanatics doing their third jerseys. I think last year Adidas did all theirs. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of hate and Fanatics from doing MLB to the NHL. Do I condone that behavior? No. We love Fanatics, But we are going to rank the third jerseys of each team. Well, most teams that have debuted them, because some are in the Winter Classic and won't debut until, the day before or whatever. So, let's just start from the top, Jenks. Boston, redoing the B. What's your take?
I don't hate it. It brings back an old school vibe. Sort of a low-key Boston hater, so I think part of me is just like, I don't like anything. We're the black and gold. You guys are not the black and gold. So, you know what? It's true to the roots. It is. It's authentic. I don't hate it.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
It's a wheel with a B. That's it. I mean.
Yeah.
That's my take. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just it seems like the original logo already. They just swapped the colors around. There's really nothing to it.
Yeah.
Carolina, they actually debuted this one, I think, last night at their home game. What are your thoughts on away game? Sorry.
Yeah. To me, it's very simple. It's just an inverse of their standard logo.
Yeah.
I don't think they did anything creative here. So I not a huge fan of this one design wise, but it is what it is.
You don't like the little cartoon character they have on the shoulder, or no?
I mean, the cartoon character is pretty cool. Like, what they really should have done is just gone with that as the primary logo on the jersey.
Yeah. Just
that would be college. I love it.
Just straight
bring
maniacs.
me more of that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate the jerseys. It doesn't catch my eye because if anybody notices these third jerseys have a similar pattern to it. They're kind of like Color Rush for the NFL. So it's just all going to be like some sort of color variant of these jerseys. Chicago Blackhawks, when they debuted this jersey, I literally couldn't find a difference. Could not find one difference from their actual jersey.
What is the difference?
Right. It's the same thing. I think it's just the gold outline of the Indian.
Is it just the outline and the fact that they have
Their patch,
their their well,
Centennial
and
patch.
they've got the cup years, the years they won the cup on the stitched on the inside. But like if they were wearing this and they didn't say anything, I don't think anybody would notice it was different.
Yeah, I agree. Colorado doesn't have one. Columbus doesn't have one yet, or haven't debuted them. Everybody has a freaking anniversary this year. Everybody joined the league at the exact same day and time, or odds and evens of 5. Detroit Jenks, Motor City.
This is the. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right one. This is the. They
Centennial.
built in that 100 logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't. I actually don't hate it. It's simple, but it's true to Detroit, and they didn't get too crazy with it. I'm actually kind of a fan of this one, if anything.
I'm digging it.
I don't mind it.
Detroit is the I would say how do I frame this? Like they're the I'm just gonna say it because this is the only word I know. The swaggiest team in the league. Like they just know how to like form their jerseys and form their marketing. So this is beautiful. If anybody's ever seen the Goodyear logo, think of that. It has the like defined wheel with the wings. It's pretty nice. Oilers.
Dude, the first time I looked at this jersey, it literally looks like it's like fully screen printed.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
It almost looks like a practice jersey to me. I was
does.
like, this just looks lazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on it. I think it's lazy.
I hate it. There's I don't know. Oilers, like I feel like we've seen with the introduction of the third jersey in the last couple of years, I think teams have almost abused how often they reuse old school logos to a point now where we're just like, oh shit, we ran out of logos to use. So now the Oilers it's literally just words, Oilers. I don't know. It just looks so bad for me. Florida, I think they're doing the Winter Classic this year. Haven't debuted it. The Kings, they did something different, and the Pens followed suit. They wore the socks and the helmets of the third jerseys out to warm-ups, and they did a little switch. They didn't wear their third jerseys out there. So what are your thoughts on the Kings' third jersey?
I like it, man. As I get older, I become more a fan of like retro type jerseys.
Yeah.
And this is definitely like, like Gretzky era Kings.
Yeah.
Maybe even like Marcel Dion era Kings. Like, I like the throwbacks. I'm here for it. I like those ones.
I love the Kings throwbacks. I love the purple and
Yeah.
gold. It's freaking beautiful. It's the purple and gold king crown with the black and gold or black and silver colors. Minnesota Wild, probably my favorite third jersey. By far, has to be like I freaking love the arms. Like that old school vibe. Oh, just I would puke. I would like have every jersey if I could. If I was a fan of that team.
I'm a fan too. Not much else to say about these. I think they just nailed it.
They nailed it. It's literally it's so simple that it's beautiful. That's how to describe it really.
Yeah.
The New Jersey Devils. I don't think they have debuted it, but they have come out and said that they're not using the New Jersey jersey this year. Thank God. whoever I Jenks, I hated it from the beginning.
Yeah.
So stupid that jersey. But Rangers.
I'm trying to find the Rangers one right now. My page reloaded on me.
That'll happen. I'll go
So
then.
close.
There's Centennial jerseys as well. Kind of the old school Ranger blue, not
Okay,
like the
yeah.
crisp color that we're used to. More of a darker color than we're used to. This one's more of a lighter with the diagonal Rangers going across. I think it's a nice touch. It's a nice mix up from what the Rangers are used to. Do I like it aesthetically? No, I don't. I don't really. I'm not thrilled about it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think, if you look at it from the retro standpoint and say this is a historically accurate jersey,
Right. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool, but not something that I would go crazy about.
Right. For your centennial year, you have to use the jersey that you wore 100 years ago. Like that's
Yes.
essentially what it is. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you think back, I don't even think pens were invented 100 years ago. So they had to
Right.
they had to design that jersey in blood. That's how bad it is. Ottawa Senators.
When I first looked at this is another one that I just said it looks too similar to their current jerseys, and I was like, I don't know, it just feels lazy to me. But I don't know, I just feel like they mixed in the right amount of gold. A little bit of black and gold on the shoulders, a little bit of gold trim on there. Just gives it a little bit of a different feel. Not my favorite, but I don't hate it by any means.
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of like these jerseys. You're right. There's just a right amount of gold, a little bit everywhere to match that Senator Roman vibe. This is kind of like one of those jerseys that are newer era jerseys where they don't really have a blueprint of many throwbacks to go off of. So they tried. I think it gives off a good vibe, and maybe we'll see more changes moving forward, kind of like this for the Senators as their jerseys. Yep. Our Pittsburgh Penguins. Jenks.
I'm going to be very honest. I was expecting something much different when we found out that they were doing third jerseys. I was let down.
Yeah.
We've done gold jerseys before. I don't hate the gold jersey as a base jersey. I just feel like we could have done more here. So they're fine in my opinion, but I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this jersey already, right? We've seen the Winter Classic when they played Philly. This is the exact same jersey, but just different patches on the shoulder, and I think just a touch of tint to the yellow. I don't hate it. I like that they matched with yellow helmets and yellow socks. From being from Pittsburgh, we see a lot of yellow everywhere, so it doesn't hit me the wrong way. But it's just ugly. I don't know. It's retro, like you said. It's an old school design. I just think they're saving the Robo Penguin for maybe Crosby's last season so they could sell a good chillion of them.
Probably.
Once they bring back the Robo, I mean, they literally might sell out of fabric. That's how crazy people are going to be. So just a hint at that. San Jose Sharks celebrating year number 35, so they had to go back 35 years and see what they were wearing, and that's kind of what they used.
Yeah, it's. I just feel like I've seen this
Reebok
jersey.
practice jersey with the logo slapped onto it.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, I feel like I've seen this jersey before. It feels like they just said, "Hey, take this jersey
right.
and just make them again. Yeah. Just make these."
Yeah, dude. If anybody's played any hockey in like the early 2000s, you know exactly what the Reebok jersey was with like the stripe up into the armpit. Like that's exactly what it is. And of course the shark biting the stick off. Nobody really knows where that middle piece of the stick goes, but we just assume that he swallows it.
Well, he chokes on it because the sharks always choke. So.
Right. Seattle Kraken. This is interesting, Jenks. It's not a new design, but it's a way of the jersey looking in the dark.
I don't think we've ever seen this before. I mean, obviously, you're not going to see this during a game because the lights are on. But I just like that they tried something new,
different.
They're going with this all black look. I think that's a good look to debut here. And the little bit of a glow in the dark accent, maybe you get to see it pre-game for the anthem and stuff when they come out and the lights are off and they're doing the light show and stuff. That'd be pretty cool to see. So simple but effective, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of glow in the dark. Like that's freaking cool. I would like to see in 20 years what these jerseys will be brought back as, but I think for now, testing the waters in the NHL with something like this with a brand new team, I think is very fun. You really can't go wrong with this since they don't really have a background per se in a logo. St. Louis Blues.
I think the St. Louis Blues. So I still think the best St. Louis Blues jerseys are the reverse retros that they did a few years ago. That were like the red base.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
The red on the bottom with the yellow lines. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That's my favorite Blues jersey. I just think those were absolutely nasty. But they went with more of a powder blue look here. I think that is definitely a nod to the past. And honestly, I think it's a better look for them. I like that better than their standard jerseys. I don't mind it one bit. I think these are clean jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they rolled out their third jersey yet. But like you said, they rolled out brand new jerseys, and this is a clean look. Like I just like their marketing around it and the reason why they did it. So it's a very nice kind of more clean colors, crisper colors, brought it to the new modern era. Tampa Bay Stadium Series. That's why they haven't debuted their jerseys yet. So we're looking to see. Hopefully they bring back like some sort of like crazy design or something. Maybe lightning bolts on the shoulders or something. Utah, I mean, they literally just made their team. I don't even know if they can even have enough money to produce a third jersey. So
they don't need a third jersey. They just go back and wear the jersey that just says Utah.
Utah, yeah. So I think that's their That's their home, and then their away is the Mammoth.
Yeah, they just debuted. No, their home is the dark color, so they've got the Mammoth on that, and then their white jersey is the Utah jersey.
The Utah jerseys, right? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the Mammoth logo. I like the color scheme. I think it all works. So
it's very simple for a starting team. Very clean, very simple. So yeah, I don't hate it. I don't like it. It's just a jersey. The Caps going back to red for Ovi's final year.
Big fan. You know what? As a Penguins fan, I always used to hate everything about the Caps and Ovechkin. After seeing Ovi win his cup, I'm a huge Ovi supporter. I just love the look of this jersey. I remember there being times where you'd see highlights of Ovi wearing a similar design jersey over the years, and just how iconic that logo is. And I think red's a good base color for the Caps. So I think they kept these jerseys really, really simple but clean, and it's their best look.
Yep. The Screaming Eagle. If anybody ever recognizes that logo, obviously you remember like Ovi on his back throwing it into the net, like those type of vibes. I really I love that logo. I think it's always been the best logo the Washington Capitals have had. And it's just cool to see. It's different. It's nice to see like those retro jerseys. Winnipeg. I don't even know if they changed really much, but they probably added a patch, maybe.
That's all I can tell from this, and I was actually reading the description because I was looking at this like the Office meme that's like, find the difference between these two pictures. They're the same picture.
Right. Yeah.
It's like I'm pretty sure all they did is add a patch here, and that's basically what they're saying is it's just a patch.
So. Right. Okay. I mean, hey, sometimes you don't really need a third jersey for that year. You could just use what you got. But yeah, that's about it. I think the Fanatics did an okay job. We haven't seen too many jerseys tear this year, which I think is very interesting. But we'll see moving forward if they actually hold up. Jumping into our last section of the podcast, the rapid fire. If you're new this season, we're doing just short, quick answers to a couple topics that are not as big. Think of like a rundown. So, are you ready, Jinx?
Let's do it.
Johnny T back in action for the Jets.
after 2 years off, I think everybody was like a little bit skeptical about this return, but he's got a lot of fans. I love to see him back. I'm sure the Chicago fans are a little bit heartbroken to see him in a different jersey, but he's back in action. He looks pretty good for taking 2 years off, and I think anytime that a player that's had this much history in the league gets to play a little bit more time is good. So I'm happy he's back.
Yep, and scored a goal and got an assist already, so the guy can put up points. Lane Hudson signs an 8 by 8.5. Is this a good or bad contract?
I think right now you're just like, this is our cornerstone guy, and to get him at 8 by 8.5 at the trajectory he's on seems like a good deal.
Yeah.
So I think the Habs made a good move by getting him under contract sooner than later.
Definitely not going to turn into a Darnell Nurse, that's for sure. Ovi, 3 goals from 900.
Speaking of Darnell Nurse, did you see his highlight from last night?
Where he fell over like behind the net.
He just fell behind the net. Yeah. Anyways, enough bashing on Darnell Nurse. That guy sucked. Ovi is, as we know, he's the number 1 goal scorer of all time already. About to be the first player ever to hit 900.
Yeah.
That is just ridiculous. I don't think we might have said this on the last one too. I don't remember if we discussed this last week, but I just don't see anybody hitting that number ever again. He may be the only player ever to hit 900 goals.
Yeah. It's insane. The guy broke his leg and came back like a week later. So that's dedication. Who is your favorite player to watch right now?
So I want to avoid saying the McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby. Like those are boring answers, right? One guy who has really stood out to me, and he's a younger guy too.
Okay.
And somebody who is, I watched a little bit in the playoff run a little bit last year, came out of college, is that Zeev Buim kid in Minnesota.
He's nasty. Yeah.
Dude, he's already quarterbacking their power play, and he's got 5 points in his first 3 games. He is looking very good. He's fun for me right now. What about you?
I'm gonna go with the guy that I picked, I think a while ago as somebody to watch, Quentin Byfield. This his trajectory in his first couple seasons here is actually crazy for me. And the way he moves, just the way he takes the game, he's 6'5" and can skate like the freaking wind.
I know,
he's just so good and so fun to watch, and he's so different for the Kings. And even like him getting drafted 2nd overall, like that was like people were like, "What? Like you're gonna draft who?" And now they're like, "Hell yeah, this is our guy." He's gonna sign a gajillion-dollar contract whenever his bridge deal's up. So I think this is gonna be great for the Kings organization. Maybe attract somebody like McDavid to come. I don't know, but that's my favorite player to watch right now. He might be considered a star, but I don't think he's a Barkov type player where he's an underrated star.
Under the radar. Yep. I love it.
Let's see. Go back to my list here. Avs. Hot. Fire. Out of the gate.
Man, I think everybody looks at the Avalanche and they're like, yeah, that's a good team, right? They have the top 2 scoring forwards in the NHL with McKinnon and Nietzsche, and then they've got the number 1 scoring defenseman in Makar right now. And, everybody hopes that they've got the goaltending situation figured out with Wedgwood, and then I think Blackwood's hurt right now, but whenever he comes back, that's always been their weak point. So I think the question of will the goaltending support the rest of the team, but man, they look awfully good right now, and I don't know if anybody would be betting against them to start the season.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I don't really have anything else more to add. I think, any team that has McKinnon, Makar, and then you bring in Landeskog back in his first game in 5 years or 3 years or whatever it was. I'm exaggerating, but you know the drill. I think, just adds a little boost of energy to the locker room. The Rangers haven't scored a goal in MSG this season yet, Jenks. What is Mike Sullivan doing?
Mike Sullivan is doing Mike Sullivan things, and we know Mike Sullivan loves his veterans, and for whatever reason, he doesn't like JT Miller. JT, you're killing me, buddy. I don't know what is going on with them at home. Like, they're what, 2-3, right? So they've lost at home 3 times, and they've won both on the road. Like, what in the world are we doing here? Are we going to go 41-41 and lose every road game? Or lose every home game and win every road game?
Shesterkin signs a deal that's worth more than I'll ever see in my lifetime, times 4, and he just stopped working. He stopped working as a goaltender. I don't know what happened. The Rangers need to figure it out. I think maybe it's just adjusting to a new system. I don't know. The Pens still are 50-50 about it. They're 2-2. So, I don't know. I'm freaking stupid. Carter Hart. Is he coming back, Jenks? There's been rumors swirling.
Could we see the return of Carter Hart? I think so. First of all, I think if any of those players from that lawsuit are going to make a return, I think it's going to be Carter Hart, because he was like probably the most
best
talented
player
of all of them. There's also a lot of teams right now who are starved for goaltending help. So I think it's realistic we could see him back in the NHL sooner than later. I think it's just going to have to be a team who says, hey, look, we're willing to take a chance, and you're probably going to take a little bit of a PR hit. Yeah. But, hey, we think we're a goaltender away, and we think he could be the solution, and we're willing to take that risk. So I think we could see him back in the NHL sooner than later.
Do you think if he does come back, he's put in the AHL for a couple games as a conditioning stint?
Oh, yeah, I think they'll definitely want him to get warmed up. I don't think he's played any hockey in the last couple of years, right?
I mean, if he's trying to come back, he definitely has been working on the side rink. He's been fucking doing some pushes.
Yeah, but I don't think he's played in any games.
Maybe some beer league, get the fellows warmed up.
Yeah, that'll give you a good game speed.
Yeah, we'll see how that unfolds. Obviously, we'll be on top of that and let you guys know. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Black Aces Hockey Podcast. Any last words for the people, Jenks?
Nothing to report, man. I'm excited to watch some hockey now that I'm back stateside here. Didn't have a whole lot of time to do that last week, and I feel like I missed out on some good hockey. So I'll be watching some this week.
And the Pens lost to the Ducks, and I was fast asleep because they were playing at 10:30 at night, and I have a real job. So I can't do that shit.
Big boy things.
Right, yeah. Anyways, I'm your co-host, Blaine Adams. I'm right here, as always, with your co-host, Nick James Jenkins. We're out of here. Later.